Good evening and welcome to Ringer Sports Studio for today, November the 21st, 2024. Yesterday we did finish 3-2, I believe, on our posted plays. Curry, I mean, I had him over 4.5 3-pointers. He had four. He only took six shots. I expected him to shoot a lot against Atlanta Hawks team, which is last in sorry, they're last in 3-point. They're actually the worst team at defending the three. They give up the most attempts from three, and they also give up the most made threes from three. I believe they give up 17 a game. And Curry's a shooter. 4.5 is a lot, but best shooter of all time. Even though he hasn't been shooting as much as he has in past years. I mean, as I said, best shooter of all time. Win some, you lose some. I mean, he only shot six shots. He shot 66%, had four of them. But I went 2-0 on my other picks. I had I believe Houston minus 6.5 against Indy. That was a blowout there. And I also had Zubac over 10.5 rebounds. He had 12. Um, and Ringer Senior had Golden State minus 8. I believe that was another blowout. I believe he really liked that one. I believe we had that one as a 4% play. And we also had Philly minus 3.5 against a Memphis team. It was in Memphis, coming off a back-to-back. Philly did have their weapons back, and Embiid, Paul George, and Maxey, but that wasn't enough to get the job done. I believe they lost by 6 points. I believe really bad start for a Philly team. I believe they're 2-13, 2-12ish. Anyways, I'm just gonna jump right into our picks. Gonna start in NFL action. I have a lean. Ringer Senior has a lean, and also a play that I'm going to talk about for him. So just going to jump right off into his pick. He has Jameson Winston uh, over 34.5 passing attempts. He's going to take this one as a 3% play. I believe it was at like 42 or something, 43, around there before all the snow and the rain was supposed to come. It dropped, I think, about 7 or 8 attempts. Now down to 34.5 with the snow. It's going to be a really tough conditions for the game, but Winston's thrown the ball 46, 46, and 41 times. He just throws the ball so much, and they should be down in this game against Pittsburgh. The only thing that would concern me here would be Pittsburgh running the ball. Uh, they really don't have to pass the ball to win this game. Cleveland does have a pretty good defense. So does Pittsburgh, but he should throw the ball 35 times, even in those really bad conditions. Not supposed to be too much wind, but it's supposed to be a little bit. So that's his play. 3% play. Winston over 34.5 passing attempts. His lean is Jameson Winston over 215.5 passing yards. Actually, Winston, he has gone 395 last game in a game they had to crawl back. They still lost by 21. He threw the ball 46 times. And another game against the Chargers, still had to throw the ball a lot. Threw it 46 times, only had 26 completions for 235 yards and 334 yards in his first game in a win against Baltimore. Um, Again, yeah, they should be down in this game. They do have a couple pretty good wide receivers in Cedric Tillman. He's been doing really well. Elijah Moore is pretty good. Judy and Njoku. Cooper, he did get traded to Buffalo, but Jameson Winston does have many options to sling the ball to, and I think he will. Even though with those bad conditions, I'm sure this is why it is a lean for Ringer Senior. But 215.5 passing yards seems a bit too little here. And heading over to my lean, I do like Jaylen Warren over 13.5 receiving yards. I see Russell Wilson, if he drops back to pass the ball, he's going to hit his receiving back in Jaylen Warren, and I really don't see him throwing the ball too much, especially in the snow game, and them probably being up most of the game. But also, what's his name? Jaylen Warren has also gone over his receiving yards in all of his last 4 games, and I see him probably having, I don't know, probably three check down passes and probably get at least 14 yards on those. I'd say probably 5 yards of reception, probably get him 15 yards. So over the 12.5 number is what it's at right now. Gonna jump back over to Ringer Senior's picks for NBA action tonight. With his only NBA pick, he's gonna take Minnesota against Toronto in Toronto. Uh, Toronto has given up a lot of points this year. They do have Scotty Barnes back, a big part of their defense, but Toronto has had a pretty decent offense. They started the year really well. They did have a pretty good, or sorry, a couple of really, really low scoring games in 99 to 95 and 99 to 85, but the Timberwolves have been a pretty high scoring team as well. The Timberwolves are the best team guarding the three, which does concern me a bit there, but 225 I think they should clear this number. I think it's going to be a back and forth game. I think Toronto actually stays in this game. They have been staying in a lot of games. I mean, they only lost to Boston in overtime by 3 at the TD Garden. It's a really, really tough place to play in Boston, and I mean, they played extremely well there with no Scotty Barnes. I see them probably putting up 110 at home, and Minnesota probably putting up, I don't know, 115 plus. So he's running out of breath here. So yeah, with his pick, he has Minnesota over 225 and a half points. So sorry, total points as a 3% play in NBA. Heading over into my 3 NBA plays, I'm gonna start here on a spread. The Lakers minus 4.5 against the Orlando Magic at home. Anthony Davis is a game time decision. He is listed as probable, but this line has just creeped a bit like down and down and down as the day has gone by. I believe I saw it at 6, actually a couple hours ago. It's actually moved down to 4.5. But the Lakers, they're 7-0 at home this year. The Magic, they're 2-7 away. The Lakers are 6-1 ATS at home, and they just it's a really tough place to play there. In LA, the only thing that does concern me here is Orlando does like to keep their games pretty tight, pretty close, and they also like they also like to keep their games really low scoring. But they do have a couple pieces for them out. Obviously, they have Paulo Banchero out till I believe December, and they also have Cartavius Cardball Pope's KCP out, and Wendell Carter is questionable for them. Big center for them to guard Anthony Davis, and I think if Anthony Davis is playing tonight, listed as probable, I think they'll win this game by 10 points at home. Simple as that. Even though Orlando does have a really good defense, the Lakers are just unstoppable at home. So that's one of my picks, minus 4.5 for the Lakers as a 3% play. Sorry, out of breath here. Also have Cade Cunningham over 15.5 rebounds and assists. I really like this pick. Cade Cunningham, he's gone over this in all of his last 9 games. He has came down to the wire on a couple of them. I mean, he's had 16, and he's had 16 3 times in 3 of his last games. Sorry, my gosh, I can't talk. In 3 of his last 9 games, he has had 16 rebounds and assists, but he has been getting to that double digits number on his assists. I mean, he's gone 10, 10, 10, 11, 9, 9, 13, 10, and 11. In those other games where he hasn't had 16 or 17, he's been way over 20, 18, 24, 20, and 22. He has had 4 triple doubles over that time span. It's something that I'm probably going to put this as a lean. Cade Cunningham for a triple double. You're getting 10-1 here. Really, really good odds in a game. Should be really, really close. And another reason why I like this as actually a 4% play. I see him probably getting 10 assists. That's going to be pretty obvious. He may look to score the ball against LaMelo Ball. It's going to be a one-on-one matchup there. But I see him probably getting 10 assists this game. I see him also getting probably 7 or 8 rebounds, potentially 10, to get that triple double. With a couple of rebounders, or actually 2 big men for Charlotte out. I believe there's Nick Richards and Mark Williams both out. They do have Diabate holding the ground for them, but he hasn't started. He hasn't started the game this year. When he's on the court, he's an extremely good rebounder. I believe he had like 15, 14, and 13 rebounds coming off the bench, playing I believe 25 minutes. But in the last 2 games, he hasn't played many minutes at all. 14 and 18, I believe, and he has not gotten over 7 rebounds in both those games. So I could see Cade getting 11 assists and probably 6, 7, or 8 rebounds to get over that 15.5 rebounds and assist number as a 4% play. Heading over to my last pick, I'm going to head back over to the Minnesota and Toronto game. Playing this game in Toronto. I like Anthony Edwards over 3.5 threes. I see this game being a lot closer than the spread says. It is at 6.5. Their first game uh, was, 11 points, but that game was in Minnesota. This one's now in Toronto. They do have Scotty Barnes back. Um, Big part of their defense, but Edwards, I've taken this probably 3 or 4 times already this year, and he's hit pretty much every one of them. Last game he did not hit. He only had 3 threes. Game before that he had 6. He actually had 0 in the game before that one, but after that, 4, 4, 9, 5, 4, 3, 7, 7, 5, 5, 5 on the air, and he's shooting 11.3 threes a game. No way he doesn't make 4. Even though Toronto is a really good team guarding the 3-pointer, but it just seems too low. Too like 4 threes should be a joke for him. I did say that last night about Steph Curry. He only had 4. He only shot 6 of them though. If he shoots 10 threes, he makes 6 of them against a really bad team guarding the 3. And something that did scare me last night with Curry was a blowout. I know that Ringer Senior liked the -8 for the Warriors. I did too. I could see that game being a blowout, but tonight I see it being a lot closer. Edwards probably taking 20 shots, 25 shots potentially, and at least 10 of them being a 3, and him knocking down probably 40% of those shots. So I'm gonna look at the over 3.5 threes for Edwards as a 4% play. That's your slate. Just gonna give a quick recap here. Ringer Senior in the NFL game has Jameson Winston over 34.5 passing attempts as a 3% play. One of his leans is Winston also over 215.5 passing yards. That's a lean, and I also have a lean on Jalen Warren over 12.5 receiving yards. Heading over to Ringer Senior's actual play, he has NBA play. Minnesota over 225.5 the game total as a 3% play, and my picks are the Lakers -4.5 at home as a 3% play. Cade Cunningham over 15.5 rebounds assists as a 4% play, and Anthony Edwards over 3.5 threes as a 4% play. Uh, Hopefully Ringer Senior is back in action on the video for Friday Night Lights. Gonna have NBA Cup tomorrow. Hopefully have a couple more plays and potentially a 5% play tomorrow. I know we'll probably have 1 or 2 of those on the weekend, on Saturday and Sunday for college football and NFL and potentially NBA. A lot of games tomorrow for NBA Cup, so could have a 5% play there. Who knows? Anyways, I'm gonna peace out. Like and cash 'em.